so will kick off for the Hurricanes in what has been a very tumultuous week for Manny Diaz with respect to the kicking game and special teams. From the 4-yard line, it's Vincent Davis, the true freshman. And Davis going to be brought down at about the 16-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 from there. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up alongside Dusty Dvorak. Olivia Decker down in the field joining us in just a moment. Kenny Pickett has been the author of what is turning out to be a very special season for Pittsburgh at quarterback.
He's really taken to this offense. New offensive coordinator Mark Whipple, quarterback guru, has given him more confidence and more opportunities to throw the football. Much more of a pass-happy team than this Pittsburgh team has been in the past. And remember, Kenny Pickett, as we see there, made his first ever start against Miami in this stadium when they came in as the #2 team in the country and got a big win in his debut as a Panther Q.
First down and 10 out of the shotgun. They throw it more than every team in FBS except for one. That first one incomplete. Hey, to play good football, you got to have your hat on tight. And speaking of hat game, Olivia's is fire today, Dusty.
Hey, we're expecting a little rain. Well, Pat Narduzzi told us that he so badly wanted quarterback Kenny Pickett to come to Pitt that he let him help hire his offensive coordinator, not once, but twice, guys. And they were going through coaching changes during his recruitment. Well, now that guy is Mark Whipple, known to be a bit of a quarterback whisperer.
And he's done wonders for Pickett's game. Pickett completes that to Maurice French. French, one of their leading receivers. Olivia?
Well, Whipple and Pickett have helped open up the offense and the pass game especially. Well, the junior quarterback told us he just had a gut feeling about Coach Whipple. He watched his film and gave his stamp of approval. And today they're really looking to take advantage of Miami's porous pass defense. But guys, have you ever heard a player really active in hiring a coordinator?
No, Pat Narduzzi, I thought that was very interesting. He said the players and the coaches work together. He wants their input.
See how this partnership works out. He's got time to throw downfield and complete. And across midfield to the 48-yard line, Malik Carter, the receiver on the play, and they move the chains into Hurricane territory.
Well, this is a great matchup for Pitt. They caught Russo, the defensive end. He's going to drop in zone coverage, and he's going to get matched up on a running back out of the backfield, and that's a mismatch all day long. The big 6'6" defensive end cannot run with the speedster, Malik Carter. Nice job by Kenny Pickett identifying the mismatch.
Offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That penalty against Cradle right there. So they'll move it back a few yards. First down and 10. Pittsburgh throws the ball, Dusty, an amazing 44 times per game. That's second most in the country.
A lot of these are short passes, though, kind of an extension of the run, so not as many downfield passes, though they are throwing it much more.
Running game still a little bit of a question mark. That was Carter who made the catch a moment ago, brought down by John Garvin. And tackling one of the big issues this week for the Miami Hurricanes defensively in that loss against Georgia Tech at home.
29 missed tackles last week against Georgia Tech. Manny Diaz and defensive coordinator Blake Baker said the tackling was horrendous and something they clearly worked on all throughout the week.
Out of the backfield wide open. They turned Carter loose. He tripped over his own feet, but still picked up 16 yards for another first down.
Malik Carter, an outstanding receiver out of the backfield. Nobody identifies him in the flats. Kenny Pickett throws it out to his speedster running back, and another first down for Malik Carter in this offense.
Yeah, you mentioned his speed. He ran a 10.7 in the 100 meters in the state high school track meet. This time they run it with A.J. Davis. I mentioned the fact that their running game has been a little bit of a question mark. Davis back healthy now, and he had a big week last week, Dusty, in their win at Syracuse.
He's the lead dog. He's their most complete back, good in pass protection, and had as good a game as he's had all season a week ago against Syracuse.
Empty formation, and now they set the back Davis. Great pass protection, pickup block by Davis on the edge there. As one of the Miami defenders, Frierson, just did a somersault, Dusty.
Exactly what we talked about. Watch, it's called a chip. He's going to cut the blitzer off the edge, and then he actually got out in the route. Excellent job by the junior A.J. Davis identifying the pressure coming off the edge. and getting the defender on the ground.
They end up losing 3 yards, though, on the play. It sets up a 3rd down and long on this, their opening drive of the ball game from the 36-yard line. The Panthers.
3-man front pass rush specialists in for Miami up front.
Time to throw, and incomplete at the 23-yard line. Intended for Aaron Matthews, broken up by Robert Knowles. So it's 4th down for Pittsburgh. Alex Kessman, their place kicker. We'll see if he gets an opportunity here. He comes onto the field, and he has a very strong leg, folks. He has a career long of 56 yards, and this is within his range. This one's going to come from 54. Alex Kessman, who's 8 of 14 on the season. He got good leg into it, and he knocked it through from 54 yards out. What a start for the Panthers.
Kessman now 7 of 12 from 50+ in his career. Young man's got a leg, Jonesy.
Yeah, Coach Narduzzi told us he's not going to hesitate to let him try from 50+. They're on the board first in this game of inches. Back here in Pittsburgh, Mark Jones, Dusty Dvorak, and Olivia Decker just underway. Pittsburgh with a 3-0 lead, courtesy of that 54-yard field goal a moment ago. Pittsburgh's defense tops in the nation in sacks.
They get after the quarterback. Patrick Jones, Jalen Twyman, outstanding up front. 9 sacks a week ago, 36 on the season. Tops in college football heading into the week. They have been fantastic and relentless in their pass rush. You got to give the secondary some credit, too. Do a nice job in the press coverage that they run. And N'Kosi Perry, the now starting quarterback at Miami, going to have his hands full against that pass rush.
Making his 2nd consecutive start, came in against Virginia a couple of weeks ago. They toss it into the boundary. That's number 23, Cameron Harris, who had a big week last week, filling in for DJ Dallas, who was injured. He is here, but expected not to play today. Harris brought down for a short game.
Patrick Jones, excellent job getting off the block, working down the line of scrimmage, and Miami, one of the worst at protecting the quarterback, as you see there. Started the season rough, 10 against Florida, 31 of the season against one of the most vaunted and relentless pass rushes in college football.
Keep an eye on number 60 for Miami, the starting left tackle, Zion Nelson, 18 years old, protecting the backside of the quarterback. That is the transfer from Buffalo, KJ Osborne, making the reception. There's a flag down in the field. Might have been a face mask at the end of that by Brightwell.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9 defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
Face mask comes in by the linebacker, 9, Brightwell. Good call by the official. Nice extra yardage there for Miami to get this drive started. You mentioned KJ Osborne. He's been a fantastic addition. The Buffalo transfer, strong hands, and really the leader already in that wide receiver group as a senior.
He was the guy that Manny Diaz took to their ACC media day at the start of the season. Pope in motion. They fake the jet sweep. This is Harris with nowhere to go over the right side of that offensive line. Stays on his feet miraculously, emerging from the pack to pick up about 5 yards. Boy, Cameron Harris with a determined run right there. Picked up 136 last week.
Keep the legs churning. Never stops his legs on contact, spins out of the tackle. Nobody ever had Harris wrapped up. Excellent leg strength and balance. Turning nothing into a nice pickup.
2nd and 5. Perry with good mobility, fires too high. Had his tight end wide open, Will Mallory. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and a very manageable 5 yards to go for Perry. Remember, Perry brought them back last week, 2 weeks ago against Virginia Tech, from a 28-0 deficit when Jaron Williams struggled and threw 4 interceptions in that football game. Perry got the start the following week against Virginia. There's a look at Williams on the sidelines. Available today.
Brevin Jordan, good third down target for Perry in this offense.
He's their leading receiver. Perry looks his way and incomplete. Closest receiver was D. Wiggins, so the Hurricanes will have to punt.
And you talk about N'Kosi Perry, came in against Virginia Tech, did an excellent job leading them back, led a game-winning drive against Virginia in a much-needed win, and put them in position a week ago against Georgia Tech after coming back after a shoulder injury, coming back into the game, showing some toughness, and putting him in position, though they miss a field goal. I think he won over this team, won over these coaches, and he is now the starting quarterback. Jaron Williams is not hurt anymore. He's just now the backup to N'Kosi Perry.
Lou Headley gets off a good punt, fielded inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. Homecoming week here in Pittsburgh in the shadows of Tony Dorsett Drive. A lot of history here that have played here throughout the years. First down and 10, Pitt from just inside their own 10. Going to that unbalanced line. They run it to the right side, a missed tackle and a gain for A.J. Davis out to about the 14-yard line, a gain of 5. Well, one of the names prominently absent for the Miami Hurricanes is Michael Pickett, a 4-year starter. Did not make the trip due to an injury. Zach McLeod filling in for him. And remember, Pickett, McLeod, and Shaq Quarterman, 3 guys that have been starters on defense for Blake Baker and the Miami staff for their 4 years. 2nd and 5. Almost intercepted, and it looks like it was on the sideline. DJ Ivey came up with it off the tip. Zach McLeod got a hand on it, and the Hurricanes get the turnover. DJ Ivey, who had a rough week last week in the loss against Georgia Tech, finds a little atonement.
Well, Zach McLeod, who was going to redshirt just a few weeks ago, he steps in with Pickney out. Look at him reading the quarterback's eyes, gets in the passing window, gets the pass deflection, ball's up in the air, and it's a huge interception for DJ Ivey, and the turnover chain is going to be broken out on the Hurricane sidelines. What a great play by the senior linebacker stepping up when Michael Pickney's out.
See if they take a shot here on first down. Perry working out of the shotgun. Completes it at the 30-yard line to Mike Harley. Well, after the turnover, as is tradition for Miami, this is what it goes down. That Dade County area code comes out. They rep 305. I mentioned the tough week that Ivy had last week. Got to feel good about that interception. Held the ball up and showed it to the official after making the pick. 2nd and 1. Pass incomplete as we go back to the studio.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. Got the LL Bean studio update. The combined point total, if you're into that kind of thing, between Iowa and Northwestern, 35 points. And early on, Nate Stanley to Tyrone Tracy. 50 yards, most of it yak. Right now, Hawkeyes up on Northwestern, 7-0 over on ESPN2.
All right, Matt, back here, a short 3rd and 1. Remember, the Hurricanes have place kicking issues. Makes you wonder if they might not already think about going for it if it comes to 4th down. Osborne in motion. And that's going to be a first down run by Cameron Harris. Well, the rivalry dates back to 1887. Number 8 Notre Dame taking on Jim Harbaugh, number 19 Michigan at the Big House, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, the ESPN app as well. What's this game mean for Michigan?
Big time game. They cannot get their 3rd loss already. Still have to play Ohio State at the end of the season. I think it's also a big game for Notre Dame. They still have college football playoff aspirations with their one blemish at Georgia.
First down and 10 from the 24. Run it again to Harris to the wide side of the field. Trying to square those shoulders. Corralled at the 19 by DeMar Hamlin. A gain of 5 on the play.
outside stretch play. You're going to see a couple of offensive linemen pull. We're going to get out with the center and with big Navon Donaldson. Big man getting on a horse, trying to get to the second level. Gives just enough there on the edge of the defensive end to allow Cameron Harris use that speed, lumbering out there to try to get a block.
Good fellow was moving those feet.
Nice pickup on first down.
345 pounds of young man out there. Play action over the middle. A little bit of contact and a flag as Osborne was held up by Hamlin.
Definitely deserves a flag. The problem is, for Hamlin, he didn't need to. That ball was overthrown. Osborne couldn't have gotten to him, but still, he reached up, panicked.
Holding. Defense, number 3. Holding was against an eligible receiver. The penalty was half a distance to the goal. First down.
Hamlin gets a pull right there. I don't know if he could have gotten to it. Possibly he could have, but definitely a good call with the holding.
It's already the 3rd penalty against Pitt. Ball inside the 10-yard line. First down and goal now for the Hurricanes. Dusty, red zone scoring has been an issue for Miami over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they had 8 red zone opportunities last week, and they squatted them. Part of that is place kicking. Also, field shrinks, and this offense just cannot extend and finish drives the way that Dan Enos would like to see.
Let's see what they do here. Perry over the middle, tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. As Hamlin was matched up against Mike Harley that time. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Paris Ford got his hands on that and tipped it incomplete.
It was an RPO. Paris Ford playing safety, steps right in the middle of the field, reads the quarterback's eyes, was expecting the slant. Well played by the sophomore safety, former 5-star, who's really starting to come into his own inside this defense.
Harris is the lone back on 2nd and goal. Perry looking to pass. They set up the screen. Got a blocker out in front of him. Harris inside the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal for Miami. Gain of 5 on the play. Salim Brightwell making the tackle.
Nice job in pursuit by the Pitt defense. Screen was well set up. Closing speed on Harris to not let him get much past the 5.
Yeah, Randy Bates, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, wants his guys to play fast. He'll forgive them for missed tackles as long as they're going full tilt.
It's an aggressive attacking defense. And the Hurricanes, they don't want to have to settle for a field goal. They need to get this in the end zone.
Perry with time now takes off. Incomplete. Brought down, knocked down by Brightwell, so it's 4th and goal. And once again, the Hurricanes stall out inside the 20-yard line. And in comes their place kicker. Looks like we're going to get Camden Price today.
Well, it's zone coverage. Take a look at these 2 backers right here. Really do a nice job. Kylan Johnson, they're both in zone coverage. Eyes on the quarterback. Johnson forces the issue, and you see Brightwell stays in the throwing lane, gets the pass breakup, and Pitt with a big stop to try to limit it to a field goal.
This one coming from 22 yards out, and no doubt about it for Camden Price. Remember last week, Turner Davidson missed a 25-yard field goal with 26 seconds to go against Georgia Tech, which essentially would have put the game on ice for the Hurricanes. Regardless, they knocked the game up on this 22-yarder. And you want to see what a human exhale looks like? That was it. Manny Diaz. Prior to the game in warm-ups, did their little shoot dance on. Ready to hit the whoa after that one.
That looks like our pregame dance.
Hey, that's what happens when you've won 4 straight games. One more win would equal their longest winning streak in almost 10 years, Matt Berry. Back to you.
How about that? I like a little nugget. I've got one for you. Oklahoma early kickoff on the road against Kansas State. Some people pointed this game could be closer than you think. Jalen Hurts, he disagrees. Pushed across the goal line right now. It's all Boomer. 10-0 in the first over on ABC.
All right, Matt, back here tied at 3, just underway, 5:26 to go. That's a pretty good matchup. What does that graphic tell you, Dusty, exactly?
It tells me that this team has found a way to win close, hard-fought games. It's a smart football team, had great leadership, and late in games, they find a way to win. those close matchups.
Here's Davis finding a little crease on that defensive front out to the 31-yard line. You mentioned the winning streak and the close games. Their last 4 games have been decided by a total of 14 points. So that kind of underscores the fact that when it comes to real clutch time, they've been getting it done. Davis, flag down on the play, brought down by Silvera. Davis gained a yard.
Pitt picking up the tempo a little bit. Might be a legal formation.
There was no snap. False start offense. All 11 players were not set before the snap. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, the reason these last 4 games for Pitt have been so close is because they've squandered some larger halftime leads. So this week, Pat Narduzzi installed a 5-minute halftime to practice, to see how they can finish out practice. He said, if we're not finishing games, let's see how we do in the second half of practice. Pretty interesting philosophy.
Yeah, well, I find it kind of enterprising, Dusty, that you would try and simulate even something like that.
I like it. Said he hasn't really done it very much, but wanted to try something different, trying to energize his team to finish.
Pickett out of the backfield. Great move. Oh, what a play by Maurice French. He hit Hall with the sauce. Picked up 7 yards on the play.
I can promise you Manny Diaz isn't going to like another missed tackle there by Gervin Hall. Loses his footing, out of position, and French makes him pay. Watch Maurice French today. They move him all over and get him touches in unique ways.
Underneath this time, the pass complete. And a good hit by Hall that time. Good catch by Taysir Mack. Mack, the team's leading receiver, with 545 yards in receptions coming into the game today. 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
Maurice French, I think he's best with the ball in his hands. Taysir Mack, I think, is their best well-rounded wide receiver on this Pitt team.
They run it to Davis again. Davis averages almost 5 yards per carry. Robert Knowles making the stop for the Hurricanes. Under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Talked about Maurice French a moment ago, how they move him around, Dusty. He's 2nd in the country in receptions per game. Averaging 8. At 56 on the season. Pickett scrambling, making a little bit of time. The hit made at the 42-yard line on Davis. And 3rd down coming up after the gain of 5. Al Blades was there.
You know, that's one thing I like about Kenny Pickett. He's got good mobility, good pocket awareness, moves around well, throws on the move very well as he moves to his right and locates his running back out of the field.
Got a flag on the play.
Defense, targeting, 15-yard penalty. That play is under further review.
Boy, Blake Baker's secondary has had some issues with targeting. That time it was Blades. Previously it's Carter, who's been called for it twice already this year. Here's another look at the hit by
Blades. Comes in, and to me, he's trying to go through the shoulder of the running back, and watch the running back as he lowers his head, which I think is what creates more of the contact there, helmet to helmet. I would not call this targeting.
There was no targeting on the play. Number 7 may stay in the game. 3rd down.
And I think that's the right call. I mean, again, if anybody lowered their helmet, it'd be 21 A.J. Davis, more so than Al Blades. To me, he's trying to work through the outside, the shoulder, and the contact with the helmet is initiated by the offensive ball carrier.
There's a look at the variables involved in the targeting rule. Sets up a 3rd down from the 43-yard line. Pitt scored on a 54-yard field goal on their first possession. French goes in motion, makes the catch, made a great move to pick up the 1st down. Maurice French, that's 2 Fs. The extra F is for fast. Picks up 8.
It's an excellent route there by French. They motion him a little bit to identify the coverage. He sits down, works outside, a little option route, and then he makes the defender miss. Yet another missed tackle by the Miami secondary. Missed tackle by Blades, and McLeod gets him out of bounds, but not in time before Pitt picks up a first down.
From Miami's side of midfield at the 49, Pickett under some pressure. Great tackle brought down by Rousseau. His 6th sack of the season. Dusty, we saw him a couple of weeks ago. He's an impressive looking defensive end.
Long, athletic, 6'6", 260. Nice job by him retracing, shutting down his rush. You'll see him work off the edge. And I like once he recognizes he's to the level of the quarterback, shuts it down, works back inside, and drops Pickett right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the redshirt freshman that they think has a lot of upside within this defense.
Broke his ankle in the opener last year, back strong this year. Here's Davis weaving between the tackles down to the 43-yard line. Amari Carter made that tackle for Miami. There's a look at Carter, who missed the first half of the Georgia Tech game last week, the result of a targeting penalty. Sets up a 3rd down and 5 for Blake Baker's defense.
Empty set here. And Davis down low.
Pickett underneath, complete. The ball came out, and Miami has it. Paul Jr. came up with the ball, and the Hurricanes got it. Taysir Mack fumbled it, and it came out right to the Hurricanes.
Well, it's a simple slant. It's a good throw and completion to Mack, and I think it's 21 Bubba Bolden that rips it out. Gets his hand in there, rips it out, ball pops up, and all of a sudden Gervin Hall has himself an interception.
That's a 2nd turnover of the ball game that Miami was on the good end of.
And that ball's coming out before Mack ever hits the ground. That's the one thing I want to check. Did that knee come down? It didn't. Quality job by Bubba Bolden. The USC transfer missed the first 4 games of the season and is really starting to come into his own, staying with that play and continuing to try to get that ball loose. Hey, Gervin Hall is just kind of Johnny on the spot. 2nd takeaway here in the first quarter for this Hurricane defense.
And that Cuban link, the chain came out at Cartier on the sidelines. 1st down and 10 coming back the other way for Miami. On the jet sweep, it's D. Wiggins. And Wiggins is going to lose about 2 yards. Back to our Diamond Cartier in the studio. Matt.
Yeah, keep that coming all day. The CarMax Drive It Forward update. Maybe it's pay attention time now between Oklahoma and Kansas State. Skylar Thompson takes it in. An impressive drive by the Wildcats. 10-7 Sooners.
This Pitt defense, they come downhill. That's an excellent job by Phil Campbell setting the edge and getting the tackle for loss. An aggressive defense for this Panthers.
Perry under duress. Miraculously escaped and throws it out of bounds. Got outside the pocket, the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. So it's 3rd and long, but you saw the type of heat that he faced. Jalen Twyman was the first guy with the pressure from Pitt.
Been waiting to talk about him. You'll see him work in the 3 technique position. 7 sacks on the season. Excellent job just getting up the field, working between the guard and the tackle. A fierce penetrator and disruptor along this defense. He wears that 97, tries to emulate Aaron Donald, a guy who helps him out in the offseason, and he's put together a fantastic season up front for this Pitt defense.
The continuity of great players has really benefited this present group of Panthers. Donald, one of those guys that's always around campus. Perry, incomplete. KJ Osborne, the closest receiver. Is Twyman maybe the next guy working out next to Aaron Donald? That's a nice privilege if you're a college student, right?
Unbelievable privilege. I mean, the best defensive player in National Football League right now, one of the best pure pass rushers from the defensive tackle spot I've ever seen. And man, talk about that. Bodybuilder in the offseason. Aaron Donald, he is unbelievable. And to get that one-on-one work as a college player from a guy like that, I mean, that's an outstanding added benefit to Jalen Twyman and this entire Pitt front. to get a chance to have that kind of interaction with Aaron Donald.
They share a practice facility with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, by the way, are in town here for Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. But when you walk through the football facilities as a member of the Pitt Panthers football squad, and you see the whips outside, the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys, and then inside you got Aaron Donald and guys like that, I mean, it's really going to have a positive effect on your motivation.
You're exposed to pros on a daily basis. What more could you ask for as a young college football player than having that type of network around you, the Steelers and then former players that continue to come back? Pat Narduzzi's done an excellent job, you know, inviting and bringing back the former great players of this Pittsburgh program.
Here's the punt from Lou Headley. Fair catch called at the 21-yard line by Maurice French. 42-yard punt, nothing on the return. Rain has begun here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. First down and 10 for the Panthers. That's number 19, Malik Carter, one of the fastest tailbacks they have in their stable, brought down by Zach McLeod. A gain of 5 on the play. Pittsburgh coming in having won 4 consecutive games. One more win here against Miami would equal their longest win streak in a couple of decades. But Perry trying to write a different script for Manny Diaz and the Hurricanes when we come back.
Of silence.
Sunday will be exactly 1 year, folks, from the tragic mass shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue here in Pittsburgh. Pre-game, you saw it, the fans here had a moment of silence to remember the dark time in this city and our nation as the healing continues. And we want to send out our prayers to those families and people still affected by the heinous act that took place here a year ago Sunday. That's the 3rd turnover of the day for Pittsburgh. The pick by Ivy, his 2nd one of the day. And Miami's in business. Inside the 20 off the interception. Kenny Pickett struggling this afternoon.
Well, it's a 6-man pressure, and Kenny Pickett panics. Okay, pressure's coming from the inside. They're going to bring a blitzer here, and it's really Trayvon Hill who comes off the edge, who starts to come clean. Down the field, he starts to panic as he moves, tries to force the ball where it doesn't belong. Double coverage down the field on French. And DJ Ivy comes up with a big interception. Kenny Pickett here early, a little bit rattled, especially there on 3rd down, under duress.
Oh, that's a lot of ice around his neck. Let's see if they can finish inside the red zone. He's got 2 chains. Ivy. And he gives it to the offense. That's the first catch of the afternoon by Brevin Jordan, their stud tight end, Dusty.
And that's exactly where I would be going in the red zone. You know, I think he's underutilized by Dan Enos, but Dan Enos even told us that they have to keep him in protection so much to help that young, inexperienced offensive line. It limits their ability to utilize probably their most explosive offensive weapon out of the tight end position. Brevin Jordan, an outstanding player, both blocking in the run game, he's improved, and has a wide receiver type skill set as a pass catcher.
2nd and 1. Handed off to Harris over the right side, lowered his shoulder close to the end zone, stopped short at about the 1-yard line. Cameron Harris took a hit from Paris Ford and kept going to get 7.
That's an old school trap play. Pull the guard, influence the tackle up, and a quick hitter. How about this for physicality? Boom! And Harris running downhill with some physicality, getting behind his pads. Safety Paris Ford came up and didn't bring quite enough to the table. Nice run by the sophomore running back.
1st and goal for Miami. Trying to finish off this drive. Harris the lone back. Fumble on the snap. Perry pulled out a little quickly. The ball never made it to him. And it looks like the Hurricanes recovered it short of the end zone. Perry jumped back on the ball. It spotted just inside the 1. Nothing easy in the red zone for Manny Diaz.
Disaster avoided. N'Kosi Perry, as you mentioned, never had the football as he pulled out. Ball was just laying there right in front of the goal line. And N'Kosi Perry jumps on top of it. That would have been, unbelievably frustrating. They would have lost that football there.
Instead, it's 2nd and goal. Harris behind Perry. Harris got up top and got the touchdown. Miami up 6-3. Pardon me, 9-3.
Third takeaway for the Miami defense. First time they've been able to cash it in for a touchdown as Cam Harris goes over the top and finds the end zone.
That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, the 5th of his career. Remember, Harris is filling in for DJ Dallas, who was injured last week against Georgia Tech. Miami, hey, Pittsburgh came into the game knowing that the Canes were dangerous. They lead at 10-3 when we return. Today's Aflac trivia question: which FBS school shares stadium with an NFL team? Okay, that's an easy one with this one.
We've been to most of them.
Yeah, we hit a few already.
There's several that share a field or a stadium. I think Pitt the only one we can think of that shares facilities, as they do with the Steelers.
Out of bounds. Let's check in with Matt. Oh, we got a flag.
Okay, guys, couple of updates for you here. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. This Kellen Mond's 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Aggies up early on the Bulldogs, 14-7. That on the SEC Network. And Jalen Hurts takes it again himself. Sooners would score, but Kansas State has the ball. They're moving. 17-7 Sooners.
Is Jalen Hurts your Heisman guy so far, number 1?
I think Joe Burrow's got to be in that conversation with what he's done at LSU. But, yeah, Jalen Hurts at the very top. This Pitt offense sputtering right now. Last 3 drives, 3 turnovers. Got to get that under control.
Miami scored on all their turnovers so far. Pickett going deep, got a man. Incomplete. Intended for Mack. No flag on the play. Now Blades there defending.
Go route for Tasir Mack. Ball was a little bit underthrown. Mack turns around, hits him in the face mask, it looks like. Mack's got to come down with that ball.
Looked like it hit the top of Blades' helmet.
Blades never turned around. Got kind of ricocheted off the helmet.
Well, Blades,
doink there.
Dad also played at the University of Miami. Davis on the run. Nowhere to go there. It's going to be 3rd down and long. The Canes defense missing Michael Pickney, one of their emotional leaders, because of an injury. Zach McLeod getting the start in his place today. Michael Pickney out of Jacksonville, Florida, one of those 3 linebackers who have been starting since they got on campus at Coral Gables. 3rd and long. Pickett scrambling. Couple of great moves. Got the first down. What a move by Kenny Pickett. Weaving his way through the defenders. Put a nice move on Shaq Quarterman to get just enough, Dusty.
Well, Miami dials up the pressure, and Quarterman, he comes clean. And this is one of the things Pickett can do. Excellent mobility, and this is just knowing where he has to get, fighting, scrapping, clawing, and just enough for a Pitt first down.
Picked up 9 on the play. Little bubble screen complete to the edge. Nice catch by Maurice French. And he does so much more after he catches the ball. And he got a nice block from Jacques Louis on the outside.
It's an excellent job on the perimeter. You've got to be good blockers. Watch here. I mean, it's Jacques Louis. It's also Aaron Matthews setting that edge and allowing French to get a nice pickup.
Fumble. They put it on the ground. Carter never quite got it cleanly from Pickett. And Zach McLeod there to make the stop. They'll lose a couple of yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up for Pitt.
Sloppy ball security here early. This Pitt football team.
Bob coming out of the ball game. They're hoping to redshirt him perhaps this year. This is his 4th game of the season. He hasn't played in several weeks. Former 3-year starter. Does so many great things in the community there in South Florida. The Big Brothers programs.
Really does. I like this defensive line for Miami. They could bring on third down. Garvin, Russo, and Hill, their 3 best pass rushers, all come in the third down sub package.
Empty formation. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Those Hurricanes defenders active with those hands, getting them up. And that forces a 4th down and 6. Rousseau was there. And Manny Diaz, seeing his defense play pretty well here in the first half.
Yeah, it's Quarterman spying the quarterback, just a 3-man rush, and Quarterman kind of steps up, waiting in case Pickett wants to run the football, gets in the throwing lane, gets that left hand up, and gets the pass deflection. Nice effort by the senior linebacker, Shaq Quarterman. 45 consecutive starts, 2nd longest in the country.
Kirk Christodoulou punting from his own 39. And this is going to bounce into the end zone, come back out. 1st down and 10 for the Miami Hurricanes on the 51-yard punt. Remember that movie, The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
No.
Not really a classic.
Career touchdown. Wildcats keeping it close, 17-14.
All right, Matt, back here, 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes from their own 20-yard line. There's a look at the differential in number of plays run by the respective teams, but the only number that counts right now, Miami leading by 7 with 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Perry under the center. With a play fake. Complete out of the backfield. That's number 3, Mike Harley, the speedy receiver. Picks up the 1st down. Earlier in our Aflac trivia question, we asked you which FBS teams share a stadium with an NFL team.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Temple.
Got it.
Okay, the team we're doing here today.
Miami.
Both
Hard
teams
Rock.
we're doing today.
Yep.
Miami as well as USC in South Florida. There you go. 5.
Boom. That's a home run, bro.
Officials timeout. Chains require some repair.
Really? That's a first. The chains require some repair. Well, here's a look at the stadiums we were referring to, and FBS teams that share a stadium with the Dolphins here, of course, Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. Lincoln Financial Field. Another one in Philadelphia. That pass complete to the edge. That's Mark Pope. Another one of those speedy wideouts. And here's a look at some more of those stadiums. Raymond James in Tampa. The iconic LA Memorial Coliseum.
That'll be not for long. Rams building that new beautiful facility they're sharing with Chargers.
And here in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Pitt looking for their 5th win in a row. Trying to repeat as Coastal Division champs. Miami trying to get back on the right track. Perry delivers it quickly. Complete to Harley. And another catch. There's a look at the distance between the respective campuses and home stadiums. What do you make of that? I'm not sure that it really matters all that much. If you're a football fan, you're going to drive a little bit in LA to go watch them.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic venue for Pittsburgh. I got to imagine for some of these guys to get dressed and get ready in an NFL stadium, very exciting. And a big 3rd and 1 here on the field. Can Pitt come up with a stop?
Harris is going to get the task and be met behind the line of scrimmage by Phil Campbell, who lacerated that offensive front and made the stop. So it's 4th down and short for the Hurricanes.
Was an excellent job. You're going to see Campbell here just get through. He finds a crease in the defense, penetration, and then he makes a big hit behind the line of scrimmage to come up with a key stop and get that defense off the field. If it hadn't been for the 3 turnovers by their offense, the Pitt defense really having a nice performance here this afternoon.
Here's another punt from Headley. French back at his 15, makes the catch at the 12. And good punt coverage by the Hurricanes. A 46-yard punt, nothing on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. Carter made the tackle for the Hurricanes. A look at downtown historic Pittsburgh. Back after this. Contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. It's college football on ESPN, presented by Xfinity as part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week.
Beautiful scene right there.
Yeah. Look at the Duquesne incline. Part of the great landscape here. Sibley Jr. taking off through the defense. Direct snap, a little wildcat action by the Panthers. And Todd Sibley Jr. with a nice gain, Dusty.
He's more big, physical runner, and they're going to pull two guys. Going to be the center, Jimmy Morrissey, who gets out in front. Also the back tackle, Carter Warren. Warren gets a nice block there on the edge on DJ Ivey, and a big pickup for this Pitt offense. The throw game not working. They go a little old school, roll their sleeves up. Direct snap to the running back for a nice pickup.
33 yards. Remember, offensive coordinator Mark Whipple has a lot of different wrinkles in his offense. That pass incomplete behind the tight end, Griffin Stewart. I tell you, Kenny Pickett is struggling today. Completes 60% of his passes on the season. Right now conferring with Whipple, the offensive coordinator, but that appeared to be behind his receiver.
It did. Threw it on the back hip of his tight end. Poor throw, got to put that out in front, allow him to run after the catch. He's just been a little bit off today.
He's missed 4 of his last 5 passes. They go with the unbalanced line. Pickett going to take off, gets the first down, and running by and through the Hurricanes for another first down. Got a good block from Mack downfield.
This is the best thing Kenny Pickett's done today. He had a big third down run earlier. It's going to be a boot to the right. He's going to roll right, and excellent vision as he works back to his left. He sees a crease, identifies it, and he's going to take advantage. Best thing about that, he gets out of bounds and alleviates any unnecessary contact after the big game.
Picked up 28 yards. Looking to pass, flushed, flag, sacked back at the 35-yard line. They got to him. Gregory Rousseau was there and had a whole bunch of company, including Pat Bethel. And there's going to be a hold against Carter Warren.
Holding. Offense, number 77. The penalty will be declined. Second down.
That was a party, and everybody was meeting at the quarterback. Pat Bethel, Jonathan Ford, even Jonathan Garvin, all beat their blocks. Quick pressure on quarterback Kenny Pickett. Nothing to do but take the sack.
Tell me about the Miami defense and their tackling so far. What do you think? It was horrendous last week, in the words of the coach.
Hit and miss. I mean, you know, they've obviously gotten the takeaways, but they've still missed several tackles here early in this game.
Little screen pass to Davis. Got a good block to spring him for more yardage inside the 20 as we check in with the studio.
Okay, guys, Jimbo Fisher, Kellen Mond have that A&M offense working today. This to Jamon Osman, 19 yards. Not a good look for Mississippi State early on. It is 21-7 Aggies.
All right, Matt, a gain of 16 on that previous play by Pittsburgh.
Big play on the screen. Good vision in the open field by A.J. Davis. Set the screen up well. Third and manageable here for this Pitt offense, putting together their best drive of the afternoon.
Luis French in the slot. Jacques Louis outside of him. There's French. He's the comfort blanket. He is the comfort zone, the reception, and the first down. Well, today we'll have college football doubleheader for you on ACC Network and the app. Virginia, the leaders of the Coastal, taking on 4-3 Louisville at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Then we'll have the number 4 Clemson Tigers hosting Boston College in Death Valley in our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico.
Louisville's put together a nice season under Scott Satterfield. This win a few weeks ago against Wake.
Pass complete. Davis out of the backfield. Took that ball off the top of his shoes, and Shaq Quarterman finally made the tackle. Gain of 2 on the play.
The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage.
confused on the explanation there.
You're allowed to do that.
I think you can. It's a nice catch. Went down and got it. Poor throw from Pickett.
2nd and 8. Pickett has hurt the Hurricanes with his legs today. Not this time. Run out of bounds at about the 8-yard line by John Garvin, who runs extremely well at 6'4", 255. Gain of 2. And it's 3rd and 6. Hurricanes have some talent on the field.
Got a lot of talent on the field. That was expressed to us yesterday by the entire Pitt coaching staff. Talked about the amount of talent they have, and all you got to do is pop in the tape. It flashes on the field, just a lack of consistency. And it's almost as if they found ways to lose some of these close games as opposed to winning them like the Pitt team has.
Keep an eye out for Whipple's trick plays down here.
French on the move right here. Love to move them around and create a matchup that they like.
Pickett out of the pocket, incomplete. And it's 4th down. Intended for Mack, well covered by DJ Ivey. 4th and 6 coming up. And Manny Diaz's defense gets the stops they need.
Pass wasn't even close to Taysir Mack. Poor throw, a little bit of a struggle so far in this first half for the quarterback, Kenny Pickett.
Looking for perhaps one of those Philly specials down here in the red zone from Pitt. Didn't get it. This field goal attempt from 25 yards, and it's good. Second one of the game for Kessman. Made one earlier from 54. And it's a 4-point game with 2:39 to go in the first half. When we come back on the other side of this break, a special homecoming guest will join us.
Man in this building than running back James Conner, former Pitt Panther, current Pittsburgh Steeler. James, what is it like being here, watching the Pitt Panthers go on Saturdays?
It's awesome. I love it when I can actually get to the game, get on the sidelines, and just show my support. Had a blast here, and so I'm right at home.
Is it hard for you to get tickets here?
No, they take real good. they take good care of me at the university, so they always looking out.
You host a Miami team as well on Monday night, hosting the Dolphins. What's going through your mind facing that game?
Just got to execute well, come ready to play. It'll be right back here. So, Monday night be prime time. All of our peers watching. Just got to have a big game.
Now, you have one of the most unique situations in football where you still have the same practice facility and stadium that you played in college. I hear you still like the coffee better on the Pitt side, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. The whole building. And I go see my strength coaches on the other side. Our chefs are the same. Chef Kev, everybody takes real good care of me over there. So just love being here.
James, good luck to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mark.
A pro game, but collegiate coffee, huh? What about that? Perry downfield complete to Osborne in Pitt territory for a first down with 2:31 to go. That ball kind of looped into the target, didn't it, Dusty?
Yeah, ball hung in the air quite a bit, but it was perfectly placed to KJ Osborne. Makes a nice, strong catch. Good, tight coverage down the field by the senior Dane Jackson. Biggest play for this Miami offense so far this afternoon.
29-yard gain on the play, first down and 10. Trips left formation for Perry. Little bubble screen complete to Mark Pope. And Pope picks up about 3. Let's go back to the studio and Matt.
Okay, guys, coming up in the Lexus halftime report, Oklahoma getting a game in the Little Apple. We'll have highlights of that. Plus, it is wet and defensive at the shoe, and we'll get you set for Notre Dame, Michigan coming up tonight. Jess Palmer, Joe Galloway join me coming up at the half.
Hey, Matt, on Monday night, we've got more Pitt Miami. The Dolphins in town taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Second down and 7. Perry tosses it to Harris, who cuts it back and gains a yard on the play. Boy, the Miami Dolphins struggling this year, and our Monday Night Football production trucks have pulled in. The Pittsburgh Steelers with Juju Smith-Schuster and the Steelers in town. Going to do their thing, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Will the Dolphins get off the schneid here?
I don't know. I don't know if Fitzmagic's got enough magic. Steelers playing good defense right now.
Hurricanes 1 of 5 on 3rd down so far.
Showing pressure here.
Under a minute to play in the first half. Perry. A whistle, and looks like we got a timeout called or a flag first.
Timeout. Pittsburgh. First charge timeout.
Panthers taking a breather. We'll take one right along with them. Welcome back, everyone, and there's a look at Randy Bates, the defensive coordinator from New Concord, Ohio, about 2 hours north of Pitt here. And a guy that has a philosophy of, I want my guys playing fast. I'll forgive them for missed tackles as long as they're not tentative.
I really enjoyed talking with him yesterday. You know, he'd been at Northwestern, a much more conservative defense, and he's running Pat Narduzzi's defense, but it's kind of morphed. And it's allowed him to be a more aggressive play caller and really get his defense to come downhill. I'd be surprised if he doesn't bring pressure here on this big 3rd down.
3rd and 6, Perry got rid of it quickly, incomplete. Great break on the ball from Dane Jackson. It was intended for K.J. Osborne. We met with Jackson yesterday, and he's an NFL prospect in that secondary for the Panthers.
This is fantastic coverage. Just an out route right past the sticks. Ball is delivered on time. Excellent job breaking on the football and breaking up the pass. Gets the right hand around the hip, the left hand on the arm. Fantastic job by the senior cornerback, who's really putting together a stellar season for this Panther defense.
Headley's punt lands outside the 10, takes a great bounce for the Hurricanes. Will be down to the 4-yard line, 1st down and 10 with 39 seconds to go here in the first half of play, in a very low-scoring first half. But when you look at the numbers of the respective teams, Dusty, not really a surprise, right?
No, it's been a defensive slugfest, which an nose tackle like myself can appreciate. Really, the story of this game, the difference in this game, is the 3 Pitt turnovers. Yeah. Miami forcing some takeaways and converting those into 10 points here early on this game, because offensively, Miami struggled. They've got 100 total yards so far in this football game, and Pitt really just been shooting themselves in the foot with the turnovers and costly mistakes.
Yeah, Pickett with a couple of interceptions so far in the ball game. A.J. Davis in the backfield on 1st down and 10 from the 6.
Expect them just to run this clock out and get to the halftime.
And a good play there by Shaq Quarterman. No gain on the play. This week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. What jumps off the page at you there, Dusty, if anything, right now?
Well, I think Ohio State, I was intrigued to see what they do against Wisconsin. Wisconsin kind of had the look ahead against Illinois last week. That's still a really quality football team. Oklahoma in a bit of a slugfest today there in Manhattan. It's that time of year where the upset starter brewing. Do you feel we got a couple of nice games tonight? Michigan, Notre Dame, we talked about, and Auburn, LSU. That'll be intriguing.
Do you feel like Clemson's getting a lack of respect? People talking about them being a little bit of a Rodney Dangerfield, and I mean, you even told me when we were having dinner the other night that they might not be in your top 4. I think that was last week, though, when we spoke about that.
Right now. But, I mean, there's still so much left in the season. Look, I think at the end of the day, Clemson's going to run the table, and they're going to be back in the college football playoff. But it's what have you done so far? Not what did you do last year. You know, not how good the talent on your roster is. What have you done to this point? And I think to this point, if you want to move them down, have them right there at 4 or 5, there's nothing wrong with that.
On the run, this is Davis again, cuts it north-south. Sets up a 3rd down and about 3 to go for Pitt with 23 seconds to go and a timeout called by Miami. We're going to take one right along with them. Well, the forecast promised rain, and the forecast delivering right now. Eric Sears, our cameraman, with a beautiful shot there. The drops coming down against the backdrop of the stadium lights.
That's why Olivia wore that hat today.
She's ready. Always ready.
Game ready.
3rd and 3 on the jet sweep. And pick up the 1st down. This is Jacques Louis, a native of South Florida from Fort Myers.
And Mark and Dusty, the rain started when Miami got their first pick with DJ Ivey, and it hasn't stopped since. But it's kind of that fun rain where everyone just is enjoying it, especially the players. I'm okay, too.
That's good.
Hey, in the immortal words of Bob Marley, some people get wet, some people feel the rain. Okay?
Okay.
I'll just leave it right there with you.
Just drop the mic if you like. Okay. Everybody likes to play in the rain. These Miami players are used to the rain.
Oh, shoot. Every day at about 3 o'clock, thunderstorms in South Florida. They're used to it.
We got a ball game here in Pittsburgh, partner.
Yes, we do. 10-6, the Hurricanes trying to get back on the right track and improve their record to 4-4. Being very, very opportunistic in the first half with those Pitt turnovers. But Pitt's used to playing in close games. Second half coming up.
Breakup. I like this by Bolden. Stays with the plate, forces the fumble, and Gervin Hall in perfect position. And it's an errant throw there by Kenny Pickett. Was under pressure, under duress. And I thought he panicked a little bit, threw into double coverage, and they broke out the turnover chain not once, not twice, but 3 times in that opening half as Miami backs against the wall. Sense of urgency in this game. Take an early halftime lead.
This is Osborne on the kickoff return over the 20. Still on his feet, and a nice return by Osborne out to the 35-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 as we take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Dell Technologies. Pittsburgh with 214 total yards, and turnovers really hurting their cause in the first half, and they've been more so of a first half team for most of the year. Rarely have they trailed like this at the break.
As a matter of fact, it's the only time they've trailed at halftime this entire season. So we'll see how they respond. I can't imagine Pat Narduzzi very happy with his offense there at halftime. But defensively, I thought they stepped up and played a really nice half of ball.
N'Kosi Perry out of the shotgun at quarterback. Incomplete, almost picked off. Pittsburgh had a beat on that. I'm not sure that that was a lateral.
Was a forward pass, incomplete.
They're going to call it incomplete as we go down to Olivia.
Dusty, you were right. Pat Narduzzi was not very happy, and he did tell me that those 2 Kenny Pickett interceptions were bad decisions, but in general, he has not been as accurate today. His message to his team was, guys, we're only down 4, and really, it's a heck of a game. It's not what they're doing, it's what we're doing.
Tell you what, Olivia's, she looks bone dry down there despite the rain. That hat doing its job. And she's got an A in sartorial splendor today. On the handoff into the boundary, it's Watts making the stop on Cameron Harris.
Sartorial? Hang on, let me
Things to do with clothing.
Let me write this down. I know what splendor is, sartorial. I've got like a running log of words that I've been introduced to over the last 2 seasons working with you, my friend. I dare someone to have a finer vocabulary than my partner, Mark Jones. Big third down here to start things off. Randy Bates, defensive coordinator at Pitt, has been very aggressive in these third down spots.
They lead the nation in sacks. Let's see if they get to Perry here. He got rid of it quickly, high, and picked off. Mathis with the interception for Pitt. And he threw up the U derisively.
They brought the pressure, 6-man pressure, but I tell you what, Miami does a nice job picking it up. It's a poor throw on the outside. We'll see Mathis just give a little bit of ground. Be sitting back in zone coverage. He stops and then breaks on the football. It's an overthrow.
After the interception and during the return, personal foul, face mask, defense. Penalty was half a distance to the goal, first down.
Mike Harley is open over there on the side. I don't think he could have gotten the first down, but Hamlin was behind him. That's just a poorly thrown football by N'Kosi Perry right into the hands.
Oh, there's the
Mathis.
face mask. Yeah.
A little bit of frustration maybe after the interception.
He had a whole bunch of face masks. That's the first Hurricane penalty of the afternoon. So they're backed up against their own goal line here at about the 17-yard line. A.J. Davis in a tailback, 1st and 10 for Kenny Pickett. Davis hesitates and chopped down after a gain of about 2. Nice tackle off the corner by Bubba Bolden, the USC transfer, who played his first game a couple of weeks ago against Virginia Tech. 2nd down and 7. This is where your leaders plant their feet and make a statement about who they are, namely a guy like Shaq Quarterman for the Hurricanes. Pickett steps up and is sacked on the play by Rousseau. 3rd down and long now. Nice surge off the edge.
2nd sack of the day. He's going to be coming off your screen here, off the edge. just beats the tackle. What I love second time today, when he gets to the level of quarterback, young pass rushers, when you get to that level and the quarterback steps up, shut your rush down, retrace your steps, and he gets a nice sack.
Pickett has French. French needs to make a move, did a missed tackle, but short of the first down, out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. I'll tell you what, if that was basketball, I think French would have been whistled for trying to sell a flop on that. Sixth catch of the day for Maurice French.
That's a big stop by the Miami defense. You come out at halftime, third play, it's a turnover inside the 20-yard line, and you're able to get a quick 3 and out, get your defense off the field and force a field goal. Excellent job by the Miami defense. Sudden urgency in responding to the quick turnover.
Kessman attempting this field goal from 29 yards out. 2 of 2 so far today from 54 and 25, and now 29 yards. 1-point ball game. They get points out of the interception.
Old school knockdown, drag out. A lot of defense, not a lot of offense. How about these guys dressed to the nines up here?
There you go, sartorial.
Sartorial look for these fine folks here in a heck of a game in Pittsburgh.
Back N'Kosi Perry just threw a pick. And remember, this week there was a discussion of who would start it all. Jaron Williams, who started the season. He's been battling a shoulder injury, but is back to full health. So it was a quarterback competition throughout the week. N'Kosi Perry won the job back that he had last year, despite having a separated shoulder last week. Manny Diaz told me he does not plan to play both quarterbacks, and he wants to stick with one moving forward. Guys, everyone had an opinion on who the Miami quarterback was. What's your opinion of this first half from N'Kosi Perry?
Well, they haven't done much. Give credit to Pitt's defense, but it's been a stagnant offense here for Miami in the first half. I got to tell you, I was surprised by the decision. We met with them a couple of weeks ago against Virginia Tech. They raved about Jaron Williams, that he was the quarterback of the future. Wasn't very long after 3 interceptions, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, in that Virginia Tech game, we saw the quarterbacking switch being made in real time when Perry became QB #1. Perry brought Miami back from a 28-0 deficit in that game to tie the game at 35, but only ultimately to lose. Perry went 16-28 last week with a couple of touchdowns against Georgia Tech in that loss. And right now looking at 2nd down and 7. The sophomore out of Ocala, Florida. Back to pass. They set up the screen and nothing doing, incomplete. Let's go back to the studio.
Gentlemen, all of a sudden we have a little bit of offense at the shoe. After a blocked punt, Wisconsin takes advantage. A.J. Taylor, great adjustment on the ball there. Wisconsin scores the touchdown, but Fields and the Buckeyes come right back. Touchdown for him. Ohio State up 17-7 in the third.
All right, Matt, back here. 3rd down and 7. And the building's alive here in Pittsburgh. You see what they've done on 3rd down. Another Panther sack to the 22. This time, Patrick Jones.
Well, Patrick Jones is having a phenomenal season to this point. This is a simple chop, rip, and watch the dip as he turns the corner on the true freshman, Zion Nelson. Just that dip there, gets underneath. Offensive tackles don't like to bend their arms. He went for the strip sack.
6th sack of the year for him. And Miami into punt as a result. Big sack by Patrick Jones forces Miami into a punting situation. On the return at the 30-yard line, it's French. There's a flag down back at the 28-yard line, and he's down at the 44. And the Boo Birds are out with that flag. It looks like it's going to bring this one back.
During the turn, illegal block in the back. Number 4, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Jones had a chop rip, you called it. What's a chop rip?
All right, so the chop is here, but really it was the dip. He dips down, gets low, and then he finishes high with the rip. Gets past the offensive tackle and gets a big-time sack. Patrick Jones in this Pitt pass rush, it's been ferocious.
Trader tailgate week here on ESPN on the jet sweep. This is shocking. Jacques Louis, a guy that, interesting story, from South Florida, Fort Myers, actually. And that's the other side of the peninsula, by the way. But interesting that University of Miami never really recruited him. It's something that he hasn't forgotten. He did have a bunch of offers, including ones from Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, but he was a guy that would have liked to have gotten a sniff from the Canes, but never did. This is Carter on the run, brought down by John Garvin.
I listened to him talk this week, talking about Jacques Louis. He's fired up to play this game. He felt a little bit of disrespect not being recruited by the Miami Hurricanes. You could tell this game meant a little bit more to him than possibly the others.
Third down and short, 2 to go. And they'll just get the first down. Malik Carter doing the honors. Let's see where they spot it, but he appears to have gotten enough. Tackle on a play made by Zach McLeod. Actually, he was the one that missed him at first.
He came through on a blitz downhill, had a chance to get a tackle for loss. Good piece of running there by Malik Carter to run through the arm tackle and pick up just enough to move the chains.
Pressure off the edge, and he gets it off in time. Complete to his tight end, Will Gregg. And Gregg picks up another Panther first down. The big senior, 6'4", 245 from Dumas, Arkansas, got 11.
Catcher for this offense and runs away from the coverage of McLeod. Another first down. Nice play.
Backs lining up out of the eye. This is Davis. And Davis picks up about 4. It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact offensive coordinator Whipple has on his quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and what kind of advice he might have conveyed to him at the break. Whipple is known as a little bit of a quarterback whisperer and has done great work with Pickett since arriving on campus. So Pickett's a competitor, loves the game, and not quite as hard on himself as he used to be. He might be hard on his receivers after Aaron Matthews wasn't able to snag that pass. Third down and long coming up now for Pitt.
Good accurate throw, stands up in the pocket and finds Matthews, who beats the coverage, and just a drop.
Matthews had a touchdown catch last week against Syracuse on that little throwback play, a little trickery. 3rd and 7. You got 3 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Frenchie, the inside receiver. Incomplete, broken up by Shaq Quarterman, the inspirational leader of that Hurricane defense. 4-year starter, breaks up the pass, and he's the guy that speaks to his teammates in those spare precious moments and lets them know that wearing that U on your helmet means a lot.
And I don't know what Pickett's looking at here. He rushes this throw, and it's well covered by Shaq Quarterman, and you're exactly right. He's the alpha, the leader of this defense. After that loss last week, he went in the locker room, addressed the team, and he talked about what it means to wear that U on his helmet, and he talked about it being a privilege to play for the Miami Hurricanes, not a right, and he really challenged his defense and his team. Nice job by the senior stepping up, making a play when they needed it.
Not a great punt, bounces at the 32, but takes a Pitt bounce down to the 25 where it was initially touched. Hines Chapel. Kind of like that, kind of like the duck pond at Oklahoma. I think they have some kind of folklore there, Dusty.
Yes, they do.
Under 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Harris. Got a little bit of space for the first time and runs out to the 40. Gave that smoke to Hamlin and picks up 14 yards with a great straight arm.
This is an excellent cut here by Harris. We're going to see it's going to start one way. He's going to come back, outruns the defender. He had the vision to get to the outside. 38, Cam Bright took a poor angle. And a nice piece of running there by Cam Harris.
Out to the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Harris again across the 40. Let's check in with the studio.
Guys, this game was just 10-7. Galloway hadn't even finished eating his snack mix yet, and the Buckeyes come right back. 2 consecutive touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins gets in now 24-7 Buckeyes.
Ohio State on a nice roll, and back here, low-scoring contest, 10-9. Miami looking for its 4th win of the season to try and get back to 500. This is their first game on the road in some 50 days. They had a very odd schedule this year. Perry to pass. Double pumped and wide open to Osborne. First down at the Pitt 43. And now for today's Wendy's Weekend Watch. Just, some of the interesting storylines happening.
How about that? Michigan 1-10. First AP teams under Jim Harbaugh. Big game there. I'll tell you what, Oregon, I think they're playing some really good football. That was a nice win on the road at Washington. Yes. They could run the table in the Pac-12 and make things very interesting with that only loss potentially being week 1 against Auburn.
Love me some Justin Herbert, a quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. First down and 10. With a bootleg action, Perry finds his man at the 35 and down to the 33. It's D. Wiggins with a reception. And Miami seemingly getting a little bit of rhythm here, Dusty, offensively.
Yeah, they hit a run on first down. They came back with good protection. N'Kosi Perry found an open receiver. I like this. Little play action boot. Squares his shoulders up. He finds D. Wiggins for 3 straight first downs. As solid a possession as we've seen from Miami all day.
Gain of 12 on the play. Harris on the slant, broken up at the 18-yard line, incomplete, intended for Wiggins again. Jason Pinnock knocking it away.
Nice piece of coverage there by Pinnock, man-to-man outside, as they typically are here in Pittsburgh, whether you want to call it press quarters or just press man. They put these corners out there on islands. A nice piece of coverage there, getting the pass breakup. Pass was delivered in a good spot.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Little bunch set. And now motion by Osborne. They run it. Harris inside the 30. Pardon me, that's going to be Burns this time. Number 22 gets his first touch of the ball game and makes good of it, picking up 4. Clock running, approaching 5 minutes to go. This Pittsburgh team hit a little bit of a speed bump earlier this year against Delaware. A close call, albeit a win. And in that game against Central Florida, that victory, that really propelled them to think that they could play with anybody in the country.
Like this setup here, you'll see up top, 2 best pass catchers, Jordan and Osborne.
Been a quiet afternoon, surprisingly, for Jordan so far. Perry's going to tuck it under. And he got right just shy of the 25-yard line. It's going to be 4th down coming up.
Well, that's where he wanted to go for it. He looks to his right, but it was excellent coverage on the outside. Damari Mathis and Damar Hamlin, the corner and safety, were in man-to-man coverage. Nowhere for N'Kosi to go with the football. And he has to come back. It's excellent coverage down the field. And, you know, we got to give credit to this coverage. As great as the pass rush is, a lot of the times they get sacks because the coverage so good down the field. And with the kicking woes, you know, Manny Diaz got to go for it here.
5 of 12 on 4th down this year. Perry downfield, no shot, not even close. Incomplete. The Panthers take over on downs. Wiggins was the intended receiver, but he really overshot his big target. The frustrations of the Hurricanes continue.
I thought he kind of had his running back initially. If he throws it right now, I think he's got a first down instead. Big stop for Pitt.
Hurricanes with a 1-point lead. Sibley in Wildcat. And here's a little trickery. Pickett to throw it to nobody. He comes underneath, and the Hurricanes defense reading that one extremely well. Trevon Hill tackling French. Let's check in with the studio.
Guys, it's time you best pay attention to what's going on in Manhattan, Kansas. Skylar Thompson, 3rd rushing touchdown of the day, and Kansas State up on OU 34-23 over on ABC.
Wow. Wow. Wow, Dusty.
That was an excellent job by the Miami defense, not biting on the fake, had everything covered down the field. Quality job on the trickeration.
2nd and 13. And dropped at the 28-yard line by Griffin Stewart. Let's go back to that previous play on that trickery that never really developed.
Yeah, so they want to hit the deep shot here. Go ahead and roll it, guys. They want to hit a deep shot down the field. And the deep ball is covered. So we're going to see him come down here, covered well. So then the secondary is going to be over here, and it's covered up too. I mean, it's just unbelievably well done, playing responsibility football, doing your job, and not falling for the fakes. And that's something that Mark Whipple, offensive coordinator of this Pitt team, has really taken advantage of other defense with the trick plays, not Miami on that 1st down.
3rd and long. Underneath, complete. And that's going to be short of the 1st down. The catch made by Mack. And in comes the punting unit on the gain of 6. What do you say about the Miami defense here today? I mean, we talked about their offensive woes, but their defense done a nice job, right?
Absolutely they have. Forced turnovers, tackling better here today. It's an excellent open field tackle by DJ Ivey on a crucial 3rd down. They've gotten good pressure on the Pitt quarterback, Kenny Pickett. I think 3 sacks so far today, so they've responded after that tough loss a week ago against Georgia Tech.
3rd punt of the afternoon for Kurt Christodoulou out of Melbourne, Australia. The easiest recruit Coach Pat Narduzzi has ever gotten, he tells us. NFL Primetime with Boomer and TJ Sunday at 7:30 Eastern only on ESPN+. They'll have all the highlights, breakdowns from the day's games, updates after the Sunday night and Monday night games. Scott Van Pelt, Tessitore, part of the fun. Get ESPN+, download the app, go to ESPNplus.com. Good to see TJ, but man, you got to be careful with that Achilles, man.
Ain't no doubt.
It'll go on you.
Yes, it will be.
And I heard he was just in the studio. It's not like he was out there trying to hoop or play football or flag football or anything.
I was telling you to slow your roll earlier. Looking out for you.
1st and 10. Perry trying to get it generated. Taking a shot and overshoots his receiver by a ton, D. Wiggins. But good pressure up front by Cam Bright, number 38 of Pittsburgh. He was right in Perry's grill.
Yeah, Cam Bright fights through the block of the running back. Really just does an excellent job. See him go right through 23 Harris. Perry just trying to get rid of the football. Throws it well over his intended target. I think more than anything, just trying to not get sacked. Nice pressure there by Cam Bright.
Perry initially committed under Al Golden at the University of Miami. He was dismissed. He decommitted. Had a bunch of offers, decided to come to the U under Mark Richt, who convinced him that the pro-style offense would help him with the league.
Offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
He decided to come to the U, even though Auburn and a couple of other schools had offered Perry, but committed to the Canes out of Ocala, Florida. And as I mentioned, Mark Richt, we want to send out our prayers to the former head coach of the University of Miami. And he had a heart attack earlier this week. And coach, if you're listening and watching this game, hey, all love, all prosperity for full restoration.
Get well soon, coach.
Sacked and loose. The ball came out, but Miami recovers back at the 17-yard line. Patrick Jones in there again with the hit. I'm not sure whether that was the chop rip or whatever move that was, Dusty, but he got there.
Well, I'll show it to you here in just a second. Patrick Jones is having a phenomenal season. This guy has worked himself into being a great player. It's that same dip move. I'm telling you, offensive tackles don't want to bend their knees. When you can dip, we used to call it grabbing the towel, running the hoop. You dip down, you grab the towel, and you rip it up. Tackles don't want to go down there. 2nd sack there. Same move, opposite sides by Patrick Jones.
Now you're a little excited, man. You got me worried. Harris with a gaping hole, but not nearly enough for the first down. As they force the punt. Dusty, you going through the whole repertoire. Pick the towel up, so you gotta really pick the towel up and come up.
All right, so as defensive line,
I'm gonna hold you.
Hang on a second.
You're not getting my quarterback.
You do what's called a hoop drill, right? And there's a towel down, and you run the hoop to stay low. You got to get down, grab that towel, and you want to stay low, and then you come up and you rip. It's dip, rip. It's a great move.
I'll bend my hips.
Hey, let me tell you something.
I'll bend my hips.
People get excited about touchdowns and offense. I get excited about sacks and pass rushing and defense, and it's been on full display here this afternoon by both of these teams.
Yeah, both teams' defenses doing a nice job, respectively. With 33 seconds to go in the quarter. And you know all about the league and NFL Countdown. Randy Moss sitting down with Tom Brady to discuss the 42-year-old quarterback's future. Plus, Randy ranks the best catches from college football and how Bruce Lee turned Christian McCaffrey into an MVP contender. That sounds interesting. Kick off your Week 8 with Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.
Bruce Lee knows something about that dip rip.
The dip?
Guarantee it.
Did you do martial arts when you were playing defensive line?
I actually did, yeah. After my first year in the Bears, did a little Thai boxing.
Oh, wow.
Jiu-jitsu. Don't test me, Jonesy.
Here's Davis, and Davis keeps those feet moving to pick up 7 yards.
Nice run there.
Time winding down on the third quarter, and that might just do it. Pittsburgh and Miami, not a pretty offensive game. But this is the type of game that Pittsburgh is used to playing in. The last 4 wins in a row have been by a total of 14 points.
You say not pretty offense. Yeah. I say it's beautiful defense on display here at Heinz Field today.
I say trick or treat. Dusty.
Deal to Pat Narduzzi. When he got to Pitt, he said, we got to amp up our attitude as we see a big run. That's what he'd like. He said, we got to amp up our attitude. He started this thing that he called a fourth quarter party. The guys would all get on the field, raise the number 4 in the air, and, for lack of a better word, party. Well, he got a little carried away, and he said it got unruly. Guys were dancing and rolling around on the ground. So if you're a Pitt fan, you don't see those anymore. You might miss them, but you don't miss the lack of emphasis in the fourth quarter.
Always good to simulate something, and hey, if it works, it works.
Got to get some juice in the fourth quarter, whatever it takes. And that was a nice run by Todd Sibley. Get a little wildcat.
13-yard gain out to the 45. They run it again. This is Malik Carter.
19, Malik Carter.
Picks up about 8 on the play, pushed out of bounds by DJ Ivey. A couple of productive plays to start the fourth quarter for Pittsburgh, looking for their 5th consecutive win.
Extra offensive linemen in the game. That's their unbalanced package. On the left side that they're running behind, there's 3 offensive linemen left of the center and a tight end back on the right side playing guard. Been heavy run, 2 straight plays on the left side of this offensive line.
Ended up line up with 2 tailbacks and a nice stick by Quarterman. A textbook tackle on the play. Folks, this is College Football on ESPN presented by Xfinity as part of Auto Trader Tailgate Week.
So this is what I'm talking about. Offensive lineman, offensive lineman, offensive lineman. Here's the center, then there's a guard, and this is a tight end. Unbalanced offensive line, a staple of what Mark Whipple, offensive coordinator, wants to do. Create some confusion, see how the defense is going to adjust and respond, and then they can react off of it. Nice job implementing it here late, paying dividends early on in this drive for Pitt.
Mark Jones, Dusty Dvorak, Olivia Decker down on the field. Out of the backfield, this is French, Maurice French.
Pickett
put his hat down and delivered a little bit of smoke to Amari Carter. He gave him that smoke on the side in a big way. And French isn't a particularly big guy. Watch the end of this run.
French is heading for the sidelines. He kind of delivers the shot. Lowers the shoulder. Looked like Amari Carter.
Oh, he did.
Took the brunt of that hit. Look at French playing bigger than his stats show. And I just love the way they utilize Maurice French. I was telling you guys in the production meeting, he moves around and motions and lines up in different spots more than anybody I've seen in college football this year.
This is Carter. And Carter near the first down marker, back to the studio.
Guys, it appears to be game, set, Dobbins for the Buckeyes. Up the middle here, 14 yards. Separation has occurred, 31-7 Ohio State.
All right, back here. Pittsburgh football short of the first down on the previous play. Talked about Jack Quarterman a moment ago, instilling some pride in the current Canes. He often hears from John Beeson, Jonathan Vilma, and a bunch of other former linebackers that played at the U. They are that much short.
Game of inches, you said earlier, right, partner?
Yeah. Hey, didn't we hear that the chains were broken earlier?
Somebody fixed them.
Wow. Went to Home Depot real quick. Never heard about the chains malfunctioning, but stick around long enough, you will.
Miami's got a chain they could borrow over on the sideline.
Look a little out. Sneak the turnover chain in there.
A bit.
10 yards of that?
Whatever you got to do to get the job done.
Hey, I'm with you. By any means necessary. 3rd and short coming up.
Big third down here for Pitt.
Is this Maurice French time?
Oh, no, I think this is run the football time. I mean, I guess you could hit him on a jet sweep, but I'm going to probably give it to A.J. Davis.
Davis in the backfield, French in motion. And the quarterback, Pickett, keeps it himself and takes out his do-it-yourself kit to pick up the first down and move those repaired chains. With 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Miami hanging on for dear life here, up by a point at 3-4 overall. And in conference play, they are 1-3. So at some point, it's not even about winning a division title. It's about bowl eligibility, unfortunately, for the Hurricanes.
Respectability for the Hurricanes. Yep. Hey, extra offensive lineman again. Pitt's going bully ball here. Extra offensive lineman and a tight end.
Sibley out of the Wildcat. Fakes the handoff and keeps it. And Sibley makes it inside the 25 to the 24. Ryan Rigoni making the stop.
Excellent job by Jimmy Morrissey, the center, getting out in front and pulling. 77 Carter Warren. Nice run.
Hey, this season Taco Bell and is celebrating student sections, passionate fans like these, by awarding the Live Moss Student Section of the Year. The Pitt Panther Student Section already the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete or get the committee's attention by using hashtag Live Moss Student Section Contest. It's going to be Sibley again keeping it in the Wildcat and brought down 3 yards short of the first down. Back to the studio.
Guys, Dusty Dvorak is not walking through that door. Skylar Thompson again scores for Kansas State, and it is 41-23 in the 3rd.
Still plenty of time for the Sooners. I know Dusty's not walking through that door because he's right beside me, Matt, but
I'm shocked. I don't know what else to say.
Symbolically, I know what he means.
I haven't seen any of that game. All I can tell you is that I played on a team in 2003, and Kansas State pulled a big upset in the Big 12 championship. So it has happened before.
Sibley is the injured player. More on him. Play drive, 8 runs and a pass so far. And Dusty, it's not a lot of finesse we're seeing right now. It's the opposite from Pittsburgh offensively.
Bully ball. Extra offensive lineman in the game, running it down Miami's throat, and they have it again here. 6 offensive linemen in.
They run it again. A little counter. Carter and a first down, Panthers. Malik Carter, the fastest of their tailbacks, moves the chains on a gain of 18.
Carter Warren, Bryce Hargrave are going to pull outside. It's an excellent piece of blocking on the overload side. Down block, pull around, get to the second level, and another solid run on this drive. Like I said, bully ball. Pittsburgh really digging in the 4th quarter, showing some toughness, running the football at will.
French in motion. They give it to him again. He was met at the 5-yard line. Carter stopped by McLeod, who got the start today for Michael Pickney, a 2-yard gain on the play. Carter had only been averaging 3 yards per carry coming into the contest this afternoon, but he's looked pretty impressive on his last couple of runs.
Slight frame, not very big, but a slasher. He's got excellent burst. Showed some real toughness, too, running with some physicality.
2nd and goal for Pittsburgh.
Been running a lot off the left side.
Carter, the deep back out of the eye. They had a little malfunction at the junction, and Carter made a little lemonade out at the Lemons. Zach McLeod made a touchdown-saving stop at about the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh.
I mean, it's Gabe Hoy. It's the extra offensive lineman, Carson Van Lin, just getting excellent push and movement on that Miami front. I've been in these spots before, Jonesy. When you're a defensive lineman, you know what's coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Kind of is what it feels like right now, the way Pitt has run the football on this drive.
62 of the 75 yards on the ground. They run it again, but the defense, Miami comes up big here. Davis made to stop short at about the 1-yard line. Got back to the line of scrimmage. 4th goal. Interesting call coming up here for Pat Narduzzi.
Very interesting call. I think he's going to go for it, but I got to tell you, in all honesty, I think I'd kick the field goal. The way my defense is played, I think I'd take my points, and I would take my first lead of the football game.
Play clock running down to 10 now.
Remember, the big back Todd Sibley that they like to use in the Wildcat packages, he went out with an injury. Like he might have had his ankle rolled up. So that's a package that maybe you'd see him use here. I think they're taking a delay of game so they can back him up, and they're not on that rough angle for the kicker.
Penalty. 4th down.
I think this is smart, man. I really do. I mean, in a game like this, Miami hasn't moved the football effectively throughout the course of the game. We know about their kicking woes. A 2-point lead, that's huge at this juncture of the football game.
Alex Kessman in to attempt his 4th field goal of the day. He's connected from 54, 25, 29. This one from 24 from the left hash. Little movement up front.
Probably going to decline it. Looked like it was offsides on the defense, unless there was movement on Pitt.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's not going to make Pat Narduzzi happy.
No. So they'll move it back, and they'll spot it at about the 19. It'll be a 29-yarder now. Looking to go 4 for 4 on the afternoon. Alex Kessman, 6'3" junior out of Clarkston, Michigan. Gives Pittsburgh its first lead of the game with 7:19 to go. A career-high 4 field goals in a game.
Dan Enos was not happy early on the sidelines with N'Kosi Perry. Who's going to come out for this big drive for Miami at quarterback? Stick around.
And Pittsburgh with its first lead of the game with 7:19 to go. On the cusp of its 5th win in a row. First time they've done that in a decade. It'll be 1st and 10 for Miami. And it looks like we're getting a new quarterback, Jaron Williams. Let's go back to the studio. At 7:09 to go, and Jaron Williams becomes your quarterback. You talk about being put in a tough situation here. He started the first 5 games of the season before giving way to N'Kosi Perry. The numbers are pretty good, but those 3 interceptions all came in that one first half against Virginia Tech, and he hasn't been the same guy since. Let's see if he can regain his early season form. Slings it, incomplete, and almost intercepted by Paris Ford. off the hands and chest of K.J. Osborne.
Got to use those hands, K.J. Osborne. That ball bounced right off his chest. A well-thrown ball. Ooh. Ford got his toe down. He just didn't complete the process of the catch on the sidelines. Almost a back-breaking interception for the sophomore safety.
Let's take one more look at it. Should have been caught by Osborne.
It should have been caught. He's got to use his hands. And I know, here's the problem, though. Watch, though. He doesn't finish. Go ahead and roll it all the way through. He doesn't complete the process of the catch. The ball comes out. It's an incomplete pass.
Ruling on the field confirmed. Here's another look. Incomplete.
Down, didn't complete the process. Huge third down for Jaron Williams.
On his first series, Williams completes it, but short of the first down at the 30-yard line. Catch made by Harley, but stopped immediately by Paris Ford. And they take Williams off his back. 3 and out for the Hurricanes, and time winding down on them.
Well, Randy Bates dials it up, man. They're bringing pressure here. He's going to come off the edge. That's tough for a freshman who hasn't played many snaps the last 3 weeks to deal with. He knows ball's got to come out quick, and it's catch tackle for Paris Ford, the safety. Nice defense. And like you mentioned, partner, that's a tough spot for Dan Enos and Manny Diaz to throw Jaron Williams in late in this football game.
Punt by Headley. And it's going to take a great bounce for the Hurricanes all the way down inside the 10-yard line at the 9. There's a flag down all the way back at the 34-yard line. Let's see who that's against. If it stands, it's a 61-yard punt. And you talk about Jaron Williams being tossed into the proverbial fire late in the game.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 94. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Pittsburgh down here, Matt, and here we go again. Both these teams used to playing in close games, albeit different final fortunes for the different squads. Davis on the run, stopped by Quarterman.
I want to show you a savvy, nuanced play. It's going to be an underneath crossing route. And how about Paris Ford? Going to utilize the official in the middle of the field. The umpire hides behind him, shields himself from Jaron Williams' vision. He thinks he's got a wide open receiver, Mike Harley, over the middle of the field, and then Paris Ford out of nowhere from behind the official to make a huge third down stop. Savvy play by the former 5-star sophomore Paris Ford.
2nd down and 9, Pittsburgh from their own 25. Both teams with a full complement of timeouts remaining. They've been keeping it on the ground, picking up 3 that time. That was Davis. And folks, this rivalry dates back to 1887. Number 8 Notre Dame taking on Jim Harbaugh. Number 19 Michigan at the Big House. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app.
It'll be a fun game tonight in Ann Arbor. What do you like?
I think Notre Dame is playing well. I'm not crazy about Michigan's record against top 10 teams, and Jim Harbaugh has struggled against top 10 teams. Don't really see any change to that trend here tonight.
I'll confirm that opinion.
3rd down and 5. Keep it on the ground. Davis again picks up 2. 3rd and 3, and maybe Miami thinks about calling a timeout here.
Yeah. Manny Diaz.
4th and 3 coming up.
Manny Diaz was quick as soon as they got the tackle. Nice stop there by the Miami front. Last possession, last series. Pittsburgh just ran the football down the field almost at will. And this Hurricanes defense really steps up, bows their back, and gets a much-needed 3 and out.
Pitt's won 4 consecutive games. Those 4 wins by a total of 14 points. So this is familiar territory for them against Penn State. This one didn't quite work out in their favor. A 7-point loss. But that gave them a little bit of confidence in the Philly special here.
Well, Pitt special, they call it around here. Look at Pickett sneaking out. A diving touchdown.
That was UCF's first loss of the season. Gave them a little bit of confidence.
4th quarter game-winning drive here
against Duke. Carter with the catch and the score. 4th and 3, they'll punt it away. Kirk Christodoulou from his own 15-yard line. Miami could use a big return here. This is Osborne, and he won't get a chance, but decent starting field position. They only have to get in field goal range, but their place kicking, Dusty, has been inefficient. And I'm being nice.
You're being very nice. No, you're absolutely. But so far today, to their credit, they've made their only field goal and they made their only extra point. So that should give Manny Diaz at least a little bit of confidence. And let's see if Jaron Williams can play hero. I mean, a guy that started so well in the season. Again, we met with him 3 weeks ago, and they told us this is the quarterback of the future. He lost the starting job. They named N'Kosi Perry, and here they are in the fourth quarter throwing him against the fiercest pass rush in college football.
4 minutes to go. Williams going to work. As a man, Jordan knocked out. Brevin Jordan got in behind Ford, and it was knocked away. The ball clearly underthrown that time because Jordan had nothing but end zone ahead of him.
Well, Paris Ford, I mean, he makes an excellent play. Hand up at the perfect moment. Never even turned around, must have been reading the eyes of the tight end, Brevin Jordan, who got behind the coverage, gets that right arm up, second big play, and as many possessions by Paris Ford.
Brevin Jordan, their leading receiver for Miami, only one catch today for 9 yards. And now they seem a little bit sideways offensively. Play clock down to 3. And they're going to call a timeout, which will leave them with just 1. With 3:53 to go. Nothing coming easy here this afternoon for Manny Diaz in Miami. Hey, SportsCenter from Los Angeles tonight after Washington State, Oregon. With Stan and Neil, they'll have Astros Nationals Game 4 postgame coverage. Plus Notre Dame Michigan reactions. College football analyst Heather Dinich detailing how Oregon or Utah can make it to the college football playoff. SportsCenter after Cougars Ducks on ESPN and the ESPN app. Do you think the Pac-12 is going to get to the college football playoff?
Oregon's the only chance, I think. I don't think Utah can, but with the only loss being potentially to Auburn, if they went out, they're going to have a good chance. Still so much football left. And how about the tradition-rich history of Pitt? 8 NFL Hall of Famers that have played here. Walking through the halls yesterday, it was unbelievable. At their practice facility, and maybe a couple future ones. Larry Fitzgerald and Aaron Donald keeps playing the way he is. He's going to get a gold jacket.
On that track. Out of the timeout, let's see where the Hurricanes dial up here. Williams on 2nd and 10. Fires a strike complete at the 47-yard line to KJ Osborne. Really zipped it in there. Jackson made the tackle, and it's 3rd down and about 2 or 3 to go for the Hurricanes. And they got to be thinking that they're going for it either way here.
I'm going to tell you what, that's an excellent job by Jaron Williams, climbing in the pocket, trusting his line, firing a strike to Osborne over the middle. Strong hands there. Remember, last series, he let it hit him in the chest. He uses strong hands, knows contact's coming, and finishes the play. Nice completion, nice catch in a big spot.
They've only converted once today on 3rd down. Little trips right formation. Harris is going to do it on the ground and stopped up short. It'll be 4th down and about 2 feet to go. Phil Campbell was there along with Killen Johnson. And the clock running with under 3 minutes to go. Miami down to 1 timeout, and Harris, unfortunately for Miami, their top rusher today, shaken up.
Watch Kylan Harris just knife through here and make a huge play on 3rd and short. These linebackers, these safeties, they play downhill, knifes underneath the block of Donaldson, goes low, makes a sure tackle. There's Amir Watts. He knows how big that tackle was.
Yeah, you need to get excited when you make a big play like that. And Harris shaken up. Harris filling in for DJ Dallas, who did not play today. The starting tailback for the Hurricanes was injured last week against Georgia Tech, so Harris getting the bulk of the carries. He had 136 yards rushing last week in that loss against Georgia Tech. And unfortunately, he's a key cog going to the sidelines right now, Dusty.
And now you got to go to your 3rd string running back, Robert Burns.
And they've had field goal issues at the U this year. Bad ones. Davidson missing last week against Georgia Tech with 26 seconds to go that would have won them the game. Bubba Baxa has also struggled. And back to the action. Burns in on 4th down and tailback. Osborne with the completion and the first down on the little receiver screen, Dusty.
When you're down running backs, you got to get creative. Nice play call there by Dan Enos, the senior KJ Osborne. Sure-handed receiver, physical, and it was good blocking on the outside. Well done on the wide receiver screen. Pitt not ready for that.
Under 2.5 minutes to go. Harris chomping at the bit to get back into the ball game. Boy, what a story Jaron Williams has a chance to author here.
Unbelievable.
Working out of the shotgun, down to 1 timeout. Incomplete, off the hands of his receiver, Mike Harley. It was there, it was coming in a little bit hot.
Yeah, that velocity's back. I don't know what upper body extremity he had going on against Virginia Tech is what they claim, but it's not to be found last week when he came in, nor is it here today. RPO tried to hit Harley on the slant.
Cameron Harris back in the ball game at tailback for Miami from the 48. And there's a look at Camden Price, the new place kicker today, the walk-on. He's made one already, but will he get another opportunity? Harris gashing that front, and a nice run out to the 40-yard line with under 2 minutes to go. Miami with a timeout remaining. Let's see what they call here. A gain of 8.
Cam Harris showing some real toughness. I like the vision there. Tried to hurdle. He could have just slightly got over that defender. He could have really made a run into the red zone. Nice pickup on 2nd down.
3rd down and 2. Williams going to take off. Eluded one tackler. Picked up the first down. What a play. A spirited run by Jaron Williams. Got a good block from his tailback, Cameron Harris. Clock running. Actually, it stops, 1:23 to go.
That's a big-time play there by Jaron Williams. Nothing was there down the field. They took away his first read. Pocket was collapsing, and he just tucked it, tried to get what he could get in a big-time first down.
Can't take a sack here. Behind his receiver, incomplete. At the 15, almost picked off.
Let me tell you what, Cam Harris, injured and all. Big-time blitz pickup. Pitt continues to be aggressive, continues right down Main Street.
Wow.
Goes low for the 2nd time today. That ball was tipped before it got to Brevin Jordan. That's why it looked like it was slightly behind him. Tipped by the 2nd level defender of Pittsburgh. I think it was 12. Paris Ford again.
2nd and 10. 1:04 to go. Williams going to pass. Got his receiver. House call. KJ Osborne. It's a Canes thing. Jaron Williams comes off the bench with 7 minutes to go and puts Miami up late. And they're going to go for 2.
What a big-time throw on the slant by Jaron Williams. Comes in off the bench cold, and he leads a big-time touchdown drive. And here they are going to go for 2.
With 58 seconds to go in the 4th quarter, Harris on the reverse. A wild-looking scramble and picked off. And they won't get the extra point, the 2. Jason Pinnock with the interception. 58 seconds to go. Pitt with 3 timeouts to try and get back, but they need a touchdown. As we take a look at this blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear.
All right, here's the 3rd down conversion to set this up by Jaron Williams, showing some toughness. setting up this big-time throw. Play action, hit him on the slant. Dane Jackson missed the tackle first, and DeMar Hamlin, the safety, misses second. KJ Osborne, been such a key addition. The Buffalo transfer has been fantastic. Nice job catching the football clean. All right, so here's what's going to happen. As they have all day, bringing pressure, and it's going to open up the middle of the field right here when we see him come on the slant. Safety's going to try to rotate over. He rotates over late. The corner misses the initial tackle. Safety, as I mentioned, Hamlin's late.
He
tries to throw a shoulder.
He squeezed that into a pretty tight window there.
That's a heck of a throw. Velocity there, on point. What a drive. Commandeered by the redshirt freshman, Jaron Williams. We thought he had lost his starting job when the day started. I would say he's regained that and the respect of his teammates with the performance he's put together here in the fourth quarter, especially on that drive.
It'll be first down and 10. KJ Osborne got onto campus in Coral Gables, Miami, the same day, the same moment as offensive coordinator Dan Enos did. And they've gotten to know each other, gotten a great read on each other, and Osborne was the guy that had his number called at the defining moment for the Hurricanes. They lead by 4 with 58 seconds to go. Now the question, does Kenny Pickett have one left?
And by the way, Kenny Pickett has 2 fourth-quarter touchdown game-winning drives on the season. One against UCF, one against Duke. Let's see what you got, young man.
From the 25. Pickett almost intercepted. And incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. Amari Carter and Bandy there for the Hurricanes.
Carter Warren just got lucky he didn't get tagged with a holding call. 100% he's holding over here on Jeff Garvin. Right there. I mean, darn near tackles him as he rolls into his quarterback. Fortunate nobody picked that up.
Out of the pocket. Incomplete, dropped at the 42-yard line by French. Maurice French, their most dependable, reliable receiver on the season, their leading guy, dropped it here.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage, and Bandy kind of gets picked there by the inside route and just dropped by Maurice French. He had beat the coverage. He had green grass in front. Big drop.
See if they go back to him. Pickett brought down at the 21-yard line. Gregory Rousseau used that long reach of his angular, lithe frame to trip up the quarterback, Pickett.
Thinks that's his 3rd sack of the day. This is their pass rush package where he's going to be playing in the nose guard position. And this is where length comes in as a pass rusher. Got these long arms. He's just going to work in the middle of the field, and as Pickett breaks the pocket, he shuts it down, locates the quarterback, go-go gadget arm to grab the shoelaces, and a huge sack for Miami.
That's a 46-inch sleeve right there at least, right? I mean, and worth something on the sack.
Just a redshirt freshman, 3rd sack of the day.
8th of the season for Rousseau. The 4-game winning streak on the line for Pittsburgh. Miami fighting for their season right now. It's that simple. Coming into this game at 3-4, 1-3 in conference play. A win today for Pitt would have given them their longest win streak in a decade. But Miami stands up 4 right now with some inspired play off the bench from their quarterback, Jaron Williams, who have saved them so far. Miami was 6 games decided by 1 possession. They went to overtime a week ago against Georgia Tech.
There's Maurice French. He had a big drop earlier, but he's the go-to guy in this offense. See if Pickett goes back to him on the biggest play of the game.
4th down for Pittsburgh. Pressure. Pickett escapes. And incomplete. Miami takes over on downs. Good pressure by Trevon Hill. And they can throw up those U's right now here in Pittsburgh.
If I told you about a chop, rip with a little dip, we saw it earlier from the Pitt defensive end, Patrick Jones. We're going to see it here off the edge by Trayvon Hill. Gets his hands, gets the rip up. Pickett has to move out of the pocket. He tries to navigate, tries to get Carter to work down the sidelines, throws it behind him, and that's it. That's that, and that's all. What a ball game here at Heinz Field today.
Liberty City, Overtown, Carroll City, Allapattah, Miami Beach, Little Havana, Little Haiti. You got to know right now that the Hurricanes didn't make it pretty for you, but they're still alive. Timeout called by Pitt with 16 seconds to go. On an afternoon that started with Nkosi Perry at quarterback, playing with a separated, non-throwing shoulder, only to give way to Jaron Williams with a little over 7 minutes to go in this game and Miami trailing. Manny Diaz makes the call to switch quarterbacks, and it paid off. And moving forward to Florida State, what does this mean for Miami now?
Well, I mean, this is huge. I mean, this can give them confidence, can give them momentum. Look, we've known that this team has a lot of talent. They just haven't been utilizing all their talent. I got to be honest, you know this. I've been surprised ever since Jaron Williams has come out. So yeah. I hope that they pick him as the starter and stick by him regardless if he has some struggles. He is a freshman. What a rivalry game next week at Doak Campbell. Louisville back at home, then at Florida International, at Duke. 4 of the final 5 on the road. You ask me, what's this do? Just gives this team confidence and allows them to know they can beat anybody left on their schedule. They have that kind of talent. They have that kind of ability. And in a game that Manny Diaz said, the urgency level was high. Our backs are against the wall. They came out, they responded, and got a much-needed road victory here today.